Narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas. Once Allah's Messenger gave a letter to a person and ordered him to go and deliver it to the governor of Bahrain. He did so, and the governor of Bahrain sent it to Chosroes, who read that letter and then tore it to pieces. The sub-narrator, Ibn Shihab, thinks that Ibn al-Musayyab said that Allah's Messenger invoked Allah against them, saying, "May Allah tear them into pieces, and disperse them all totally." Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Once the Prophet wrote a letter or had an idea of writing a letter. The Prophet was told that they, rulers, would not read letters unless they were sealed. So the Prophet got a silver ring made with Muhammad Allah's Messenger engraved on it, as if I were just observing its white glitter in the hand of the Prophet. Narrated by Abu Waqid al-Laythi. While Allah's Messenger was sitting in the mosque with some people, 3 men came. 2 of them came in front of Allah's Messenger, and the third one went away. The 2 persons kept on standing before Allah's Messenger for a while, and then one of them found a place in the circle and sat there while the other sat behind the gathering, and the third one went away. When Allah's Messenger finished his preaching, he said, "Shall I tell you about these 3 persons?" One of them betook himself to Allah, so Allah took him into His grace and mercy and accommodated him. The second felt shy from Allah, so Allah sheltered him in His mercy, and did not punish him, while the third turned his face from Allah and went away, so Allah turned his face from him likewise. Narrated by Abdurrahman bin Abi Bakr's father. Once the Prophet was riding his camel and a man was holding its rein. The Prophet asked, "What is the day today?" We kept quiet, thinking that he might give that day another name. He said, "Isn't it the day of Nar, slaughtering of the animals of sacrifice?" We replied, "Yes." He further asked, "Which month is this?" We again kept quiet, thinking that he might give it another name. Then he said, "Isn't it the month of Dhul-Hijjah?" We replied, "Yes." He said, "Verily, your blood, property and honor are sacred to one another, i.e. Muslims, like the sanctity of this day of yours, in this month of yours and in this city of yours. It is incumbent upon those who are present to inform those who are absent, because those who are absent might comprehend what I have said better than the present audience." Narrated by Ibn Mas'ud. The Prophet used to take care of us in preaching by selecting a suitable time, so that we might not get bored. He abstained from pestering us with sermons and knowledge all the time. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "Facilitate things to people concerning religious matters, and do not make it hard for them, and give them good tidings, and do not make them run away from Islam." Narrated by Abu Wail. Abdullah used to give a religious talk to the people on every Thursday. Once a man said, "O Abu Abdurrahman, by Allah, I wish if you could preach us daily." He replied, "The only thing which prevents me from doing so is that I hate to bore you, and no doubt I take care of you in preaching by selecting a suitable time, just as the Prophet used to do with us, for fear of making us bored." Narrated by Muawiyah. I heard Allah's Messenger saying, "If Allah wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend the religion. I am just a distributor, but the grant is from Allah. And remember that this nation, true Muslims, will keep on following Allah's teaching strictly, and they will not be harmed by anyone going on a different path till Allah's order, Day of Judgment, is established." Narrated by Ibn Umar. We were with the Prophet, and fresh dates of a palm tree were brought to him. On that he said, "Amongst the trees, there is a tree which resembles a Muslim." I wanted to say that it was the date palm tree, but as I was the youngest of all of them, I kept quiet. And then the Prophet said, "It is the date palm tree." Narrated by Abdullah bin Mas'ud. The Prophet said, "Do not wish to be like anyone except in 2 cases. The first is a person whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it righteously. The second is the one whom Allah has given wisdom, the Holy Quran, and he acts according to it and teaches it to others." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. That he differed with her bin Qais bin Hisn al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet, Moses. Ibn Abbas said that he was al-Qadir. Meanwhile, Ubay bin Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, "My friend, her, and I have differed regarding Moses' companion, whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you heard the Prophet mentioning something about him?" He said, "Yes." I heard Allah's Messenger, saying, while Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, "Do you know anyone who is more learned than you?" Moses replied, "No." So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses, "Yes, our slave Qadir is more learned than you." Moses asked Allah, how to meet him, Qadir? So Allah made the fish as a sign for him, and he was told that when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, al-Qadir. So Moses went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of Moses said to him, "Do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish, none but Satan made me forget to remember it." On that Moses said, "That is what we have been seeking." So they went back retracing their footsteps, and found Qadir. And what happened further to them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Once the Prophet embraced me and said, "O Allah, bestow on him the knowledge of the book, Quran." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Once I came riding a Shias and had just attained the age of puberty. Allah's Messenger was offering the prayer at Mina. There was no wall in front of him, and I passed in front of some of the row while they were offering their prayers. There I let the Shias loose to graze and entered the row, and nobody objected to it.